Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron for iGold Advisor. By the time you see this, it will be April 8th, 2021. I hope you are well. This will be a quick and hard-hitting, technical-based video today, and we are going to try to answer the question, for gold and silver, is the bottom in? And we are watching a signal very closely that is increasingly suggesting that yes, the bottom is in. Now, anytime anyone's going to try to tell you that they know 100% what the future holds, that's where your BS flag should be raised high and proud in the wind, because no one knows 100% what is going to happen in the future, except perhaps God. So we work with probabilities here, and the probabilities suggest that the bottom is indeed in for gold and silver. Make sure to hit the big red subscribe button and the little bell icon so you will be notified when these videos come out. Let's get right into it. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off 2 weeks ago, which was focusing on the stock chart for Wheaton Precious Metals. I talked about the importance of this signal last time in the video. If you did not have a chance to watch that, go back and watch it, because this won't make as much sense unless you have that pretext. We're talking about the world's premier dual metal gold and silver streaming company. I've been following this company on basically a daily basis for about 15 years. So I watch this company very closely and how it impacts, how it tends to sometimes lead the rest of the precious metals sector. What were we talking about 2 weeks ago? We were talking about the possibility of this head and shoulders formation here, shown in blue, being aborted, by a false breakdown, shown in red. Notice how the neckline support was violated for about 1 week here, a few days back, late February, early March, and then recovered. And we have seen the formation once that false breakdown was solidified. Notice how this zone acted as support here again just last week, just above the 36 level where my mouse is. So when we're looking at one of the world's premier precious metals, both gold and silver precious metals companies, you better believe that what happens with the fate of this company, it's going to reflect, and sometimes, can you even believe it, sometimes foretell what is going to happen with the metals themselves, and therefore for the rest of the gold and silver mining sector. Whether you're a physical metals investor, which I am, there's the silver coin I leave out on my desk. Whether you're a gold investor, which I am, there's my gold coin to play around with. Whether you're invested in the mining sector, which I am, so it's not either or, it's all of the above, at least for myself, and I think for many of you out there, this signal is going to impact you. Now watch what's happening here. We had, as we talked about, we had the false breakdown, and then this little inverse head and shoulders pattern here shown in the orange color, forming below the 40.5 level, this black dashed line. And notice that 2 days ago, WPM broke above the neckline here of this little inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now, this is so important that I actually want to zoom this in for you really closely so you could see how that breakout has happened here. So notice 2 days ago, we broke the neckline resistance. And then today we have come back and we're retesting that resistance on WPM just at that 40.50 level. And now notice that we are sandwiched in between the broken resistance and the still valid blue downtrend, right? So this is one of these times where I do not know that many other people that focus on the nitty-gritty with individual stocks in the same way that we do here on this channel. This is one of those times where I will tell you, if you're following this with us, I think this is going to give you a major leg up on what is coming in the precious metals over the next 6 to 18 months. So look at this. We're sandwiched above what is now support and this resistance line going all the way back to the peak in August 2020, coinciding with the all-time high for gold. So what do we expect here? When a market is sandwiched above support and below resistance, we expect a couple of more days here of perhaps range-bound price action. It's very, very tight. And then we expect this market to break upward above this declining resistance. Why do we expect it to break upward? Is because, let's zoom that back out, because the head and shoulders pattern here, this amplitude between the neckline and the very bottom there of the head, gives us a now valid target up here at 46.5, where the green target call out is shown. 46.5. This target is now already valid. This has already been triggered. And so when you have a higher target that basically is projecting that we are going to break this downtrend, what it's telling you is that downtrend break is being foretold by the smaller pattern here that has already been triggered. So right here in red, we're saying the inverse head and shoulders pattern has already been triggered, and that means the downtrend break is pending. So how do we see this shaping up here is something like this coming soon. It could be even today, Thursday, April 8th, and that would be a huge signal when we see this downtrend broken. If it's not today, I think it could be Friday, perhaps at the very latest Monday or Tuesday of next week. It's getting very close. We should achieve the target. That will be the break of this wedge pattern, the downtrend from the all-time high for one of the sector leaders. We should get up to this 46.5 level. Notice this is going to represent some decent resistance over here from these previous peaks earlier this year. I think we will then back off, retest the downtrend before what? Accelerating strongly higher for WPM as we're moving into the third quarter of this year. We will not break the all-time high immediately. The market will back off. It will consolidate throughout the course of this summer, and then we will get ready to break the former all-time high, most likely into the third quarter of this year. But the big point is that this is the signal that we're looking at right now. And notice we're all the way down here in the 40 region on this chart. We're looking at something that is now basically going to be a series of dominoes that fall one after another. You're talking one pattern triggering another pattern, triggering what? A break from the decline from an all-time high, which suggests that the entire precious metals market is going to be moving back to its all-time high. What does that mean? At least as the price of gold is concerned, we're talking about gold above that 2,074 per ounce figure. Now, the recent high corresponding with that on silver was $30. But I'll tell you what, when you have a market that makes a new all-time high and then breaks the downtrend and is getting ready to challenge that, it's not typical that you, from that point, would just move sideways forevermore in these markets. So it looks like after we make this second and then final third challenge, the entire sector will be moving to significant new highs. And so that would mean silver above $30. We're talking about, perhaps later in the second quarter into the third quarter of this year. It's okay sometimes to get a little bit ahead of ourselves. Not too much, though. Right now, we want to see the downtrend broken. We want to see the fulfillment of the inverse head and shoulders pattern. And then we look for the rest of these series of events to unfold. Guys, this is the time to be finalizing your precious metals portfolio. What happens, I see this happen, if you're on my side of the fence here, for example, you get to see how a lot of people become interested in precious metals closer to a peak. That's what happened last year in August. As gold was making the new time high is when everyone got interested. That's the wrong time to get interested. The right time to be interested is when we're making an important low, which we are making right now, and we're close to solidifying that low. This is the time to get interested. Not once gold is already back at 2,000 or making a new high. Oh man, it pains me. I want to shout from the rooftops that this is the time to be making sure that you're properly allocated, not 3 or 6 months from now. If you would like to learn exactly what we are doing here in our premium service, it is called Precious Metals Intelligence. You can find the exact buy and sell signals that we are using here, which are sent to you right to your email inbox by flash update. We also do premium weekly videos such as what you are watching right now, except much more in depth. We will be following this wheat and precious metal signal closely over the next several months in this service. I cannot guarantee that we'll be monitoring this every time here in the YouTube videos because there's so much that we're trying to cover in so little time. So if you're looking for some guidance, some suggestions on which aspects of the precious metals market to focus on, that is what we cover in Precious Metals Intelligence. If you would like to tailor this more toward your individual situation, please contact us by the Consultations tab on the website. I sit down with individuals exactly like yourself. We book either 30 minutes or an hour. I do not take any funds or any fees from any of the companies that we profile, any of the ETFs that we talk about in this service, any of the bullion dealerships that we recommend. I simply have relationships with a lot of these companies because I know which are the good companies and which are the not so good companies. So I look out for individuals. If you have a situation that you would like to discuss with me, know that you can reach me on the Consultations tab. Thank you very much to those people supporting these free videos on Patreon. It means a lot to me. And last but not least, once again, make sure that you hit the red subscribe button. Watch this signal, guys, in WPM. As I said in the very introduction, only God knows the absolute future as it is going to play out. However, we have a number of signals here that we follow from the standpoint of professional precious metals investors in these markets for a decade and a half. And this is powerful information. The average person is not following these signals. So pay attention to this, whether you're buying physical silver, physical gold, or the precious metals miners, because we're about to have a very powerful advanced signal on our hands here. Watch it, stay tuned, also stay healthy. And I will see you guys soon.